All right. Kind of excited to build an M19 sealed deck. I haven't done it yet. So, these cards are pretty weak as rares. One with Machine, Elvish Clan Caller. Supreme Phantasm is funny, but it's funny with lots of spirits, and there's only like 2 spirits in this, right? It's the Deckhand and the Supreme Phantom, so that seems unlikely. There's some red decks that we can build with this. Let's see what our uncommons are like. Rare, mythic, rare, uncommon. Let's have a look. 1 Pride Mate, 1 Knightly Valor, Horizon Scholar, Surge Mare, Mirror Image, Fell Spectre, and a Bone Dragon. We got a lot of flyers. Rise from the Grave to go with that. There's a Skyrider Patrol. I wanted to do blue-green for some unknowable reason. The Lightning Mare, Dismissive Pyro, and Dark Drawer Oracle are pretty good. I love Fountain of Renewal. Okay. Let's go look at our commons. Two Pegasus Coursers, 3 Angel of Dawn, Gallant Cav. That's pretty promising. 2 Wind Mages. Black's looking a little less exciting. A Normal Endurance and a Child of Night. Skeleton Archer's decent, but not great. 4 Active Treason. And we have the dude who eats people with Active Treason. So it's looking, and Goblin Instigator, looking pretty red-white right now. Did we have any overrun effects? Didn't have the white overrun effect. How about the multicolored one? We'll see in a minute. Electrify, Hostile Minotaur, Lava Axe. Green not so good either. Well, Oaken Form's decent. Basilisk's good. Courser's fine. Titanic Growth is fine. Wolves or whatever. Sentinels, whatever. 3 Marauder's Axe and a Manolith. 2 Sky Scanners. 3 Gearsmith Guardians. And then our duels are in other colors. No multicolored cards. Alright, my first thought when looking at this is we have a white-red overrun effect with Angels deck with evasive creatures, and it looks pretty good. So let's look around at what that actually looks like. There's also a blue-white. Blue is just not very good here. The Aven Wind Mages aren't great. They're okay, but they're not great. We don't have a bunch of instant sorceries. Missing removal was the issue. We have 1 Electrify, 1 Dwindle. We have no Artifact Matters cards though, Sui. So yeah, we got a ton of artifacts, but we've got no fucking Artifact Matters cards except the Gearsmiths. Which might be good enough, we'll see. Let's look around. What is the red? I mean, are there no other red cards? Oh man, our red cards are pretty limited. Oh, we have the rares though, because this is not our selected rares. Let's get all of our cards back. Rares are uncommons. Knightly Valor's playable. Pride Mate's maybe playable if I get more sources of lifelink. What were uncommons in blue? Supreme Phantom and Mare. I forgot about that. Mirror Image is pretty good too. Let's look at the blue red, and then we'll look at the blue white. Our white cards are really good. Spectre's decent. Bone Dragon, it's funny. Rise to the Grave's okay. We could splash black too. But let's look at our aggro deck first. Easy Lava Axe, no problem. Like a Marauder's Axe or 2. Get a Millstone. Get a Rogue's Gloves. That's probably good in this format. I didn't even look at uncommon artifacts. And a Meteor Golem. Man. One with the machine with 1,000,000 artifacts is funny too. Alright, so let's look around. I said I've never drafted M19 sealed, never created M19 sealed decks before. So it's a little bit of a new format for me, which is kind of exciting. So, I don't know if we have any life effects right now. But Active Treasons with Dark Dweller Oracles are funny, if not particularly good. Got a fair number of 1s and 2s. We could run another Marauder's Axe if we wanted to, or the Gloves to draw cards. We've got pretty good evasive damage with the Coursers and the Angel of Dawn. The issue is we don't have any fucking removal for that deck. Just like randomly throw in a 7-drop there and do something like that. Black-white Fliers is the thing too. Yeah, okay. So we need to start taking notes. So we've got, potentially, got like red-white. Like, it's kind of red-white. It's not, I mean, it's Boros, of course. But I mean, it's kind of red-white, like wide aggro. But it's not really. We don't have any overrun effects, so it gets a little bit hard to close. So it's like grabbing the sacrifice shit with no removal. It only has Electrify. Our mana fixing wasn't very good. Highland Lake, Forsaken Sanctuary, and a Manolith. I don't really want to run the Manolith. So that's one option we could do. So let's grab these. I'll throw them into, this is the rough deck. We can always tweak it more when we get down to business with that. But the benefit of this is we have a lot of evasive creatures. We go pretty wide, a fair number of evasive creatures. We've got the stuff that goes well with evasive creatures, equipment that goes well with evasive creatures, a couple overrun effects with the Angels of Dawn, and even more evasive creatures. So, and then reach. So there's a fair number of games we just kill people with this, especially in sealed, where the decks are going to be a little bit weaker and a little bit slower. So that's certainly something to consider. But let's take a look at the other options too. Are these best of 3 games, chat, or best of 1 games? I think they're best of 1, right? Sealed is best of 3. Are we sure? I think a lot of times it's best of 1 on this in this client. Okay, so I print screened that deck. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's strip out all the cards again. I prefer a more value-oriented deck because I think they're more fun. But let's see. So let's say we did like white green. Or white blue rather even, excuse me. Get a dwindle out of that. Draw cards. Okay, we could draw 4 cards at that. That would be funny. Off the gear, or 5 cards with the Gearsmith. Scholar is quite a powerful finisher. Rise from the Grave, Bone Dragon, Fell Spectre, Skeleton Archer, Hired Blade are all playable but not exciting. Red's only basically got Electrify if I was to splash that. Skyrider's good, but I don't think it's good enough with what we have in this deck. Could even run the little 1/1 flyers. We have 3 fucking axes to run if we wanted to. So this is 1,000,000 cards over. Let's trim it a little bit more. So blue creatures, surprisingly hard for us to get. Does the mirror image stay blue? Nope. So no Omen Speakers, unfortunately. Probably not running Marauder's Axe and a Rogue's Gloves. I really like Rogue's Gloves. I've never had a chance to play them because I always find Marauder's Axe to be better, but I really like the idea of them is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Probably do want a main deck Invoke with so little removal. 7 more out. My god, this is heavy. Maybe, I mean, making our Flyers bigger is pretty good, especially when we don't lose anything. Probably cut one of those. Probably cut Priest. Gallant Cav's really good blockers, disposable blockers. Probably cut the Rust Wings, although depends how aggro we're trying to go. 2 pieces of equipment is good, but we have 1,000,000 flyers, and they may not actually be able to get through. I mean, if we kept the Rust Wings and dropped Rogue's Gloves for a second Marauder's Axe, it might be good enough. No real draw in here. Sky Scanners are here, but what are they doing? We have no artifact synergies with them, so they're just like 1/1 flyers. Chump blocker 1/1 flyers that replace themselves. It's okay. It's not super exciting. Oops, what did I just pull? I just pulled an Invoke. So if we also pull Surge Mare, which is fine. It's going to be hard to double cast blue that early. We end up with something like this. Seems fairly unexciting. Yeah, I don't mind Dwarven Priest. It's just that, like, what else am I cutting in this deck? I mean, maybe with this deck that I don't really care about. I mean, mirror imaging a Meteor Golem is, like, amazing, though. So is mirror imaging Horizon Scholar or Angel of Dawn. Probably something similar to this. No instants or sorceries, so these are just 2/2s. I mean, we literally have 1 instant, right, in the entire deck. We haven't invoked the Divine. and 1/1 with machine. These are basically 2/2 flyers for 3. Meh, it's okay. This isn't bad. All right, let's grab that and have a look. All right, what other archetype considerations were there? Is there anything to do with like a tricolor deck? Maybe like blue-white core, like splashing black. I mean, we're already having trouble cutting cards. But let's assume we did something like this. No, not really. I don't think Bone Dragon's good enough. 5/4 Flyer's alright, but it's not particularly exciting. Spell Specter's also not particularly exciting. Can we do anything with more value and like ramping? Don't have big payoff cards in green. Don't have any real way to capitalize on our red. Well, the other black card I would have played for sure would be Rise from the Grave. Which would be a pretty valuable card if we could go multicolor. What are our duels? Black, white. Okay, so we might be able to get double black sources out of that. Is there red we wanted to splash? There was an Electrify. Maybe we splash for removal. Let's see what that looks like. We're just trying to get the good stuff kind of deck going. I don't know about splashing just for Rise. Seems a little greedy, but we'll see. Probably running at least 2 of these dudes if we're running this. Looking at good stuff. Coursers are definitely good stuff. Angels are definitely good stuff. I mean, I guess. Wall of Mist is a lot better in this format than it is in Ravnica. Since, yeah, one with Gene is definitely good stuff. Since no mentoring, so walls are actually relevant blockers. Nightly Valor is good stuff. Where are we at right now? Mirror Image is good stuff. 39 of 40 right now. I don't think we put our other removal in either. Gonna dwindle in here somewhere, right? Deck looks fairly unexciting. I like Electrify, don't get me wrong. I don't. I think Electrify is fine. 4 damage is whatever in this format. And for 4 is pretty expensive. It would be nice to have more removal. But I don't really like this version of this deck. I would love to play Rise from the Grave, but I don't know that it's worth splashing for a one-off like this. I mean, if we were to run Manalith, maybe. Like, maybe then it becomes not terrible. Like, it's 2 mana sources. It'd be nice to have 1 more dual land for this. So I don't think it's probably good enough without having to fuck our mana base. I don't see a reason to do that. Deck looks strong enough as either red-white or as blue-white. Let's look at those again. We can do those on the stream. I don't see a lot else that I'd want to do here. That's not the one I want. I don't want Chrome. I want Paint. Alright. Let's take a look at that. If we look at this, there you go, Paint. It's not good enough when I do that? Why not? So that's the red-white version. Something close to that. We've got a fair amount of reach. Got a fair amount of little dudes. Maybe we don't end up playing Meteor Golem there. Maybe we end up playing like another Marauder's Axe potentially, or just like a Dwarven Priest or a Gallant Cav. Like, oh, it looks like we have more stuff than we do because this is not the stuff in there it's already running. Or is Johnny's Pridemate or whatever else we happen to run in there, right? Pridemate plus the Gain of Life thing would be fine for racing. The deck looks fine. The issue is it's missing Luminous Bonds and it's missing What's the word? There's missing overrun effects. So a lot of times it's okay. Like I could steal their creatures with active treason to remove their blockers. I get a lava axe to finish them. It has no protection for drawing. I guess it does run the Dismissive Pyromancer and the Dark Dweller Oracle for a little bit of draw protection, but it's not super exciting. Lightning Mare is not great in this format. If they have good blockers, we don't have a lot of damage either. If we look at this, we're missing some of like the Bogart Brutes or the 4/2 Giants. So we're going to have some trouble finishing games with this, especially if they ever throw down like a 5/5 flyer. If they throw down a 5/5 flyer and we don't have active treason plus Dark Dweller Oracle, we probably never kill them. Except going through them. It's not really the kind of deck I want to be playing. I don't mind it. I actually prefer Boros aggro in M19 compared to what I find it in Ravnica. Let's take a look at the other version here. Yeah. If we now look at the blue-white version, it's a little greedier. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe we take this and tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit faster. I'm not sure wind mages are where I want to be in a deck like this. Maybe, for example, the Rustwing Falcons plus the equipment is just better for us. We have a little bit more top end. The Horizon Scholar, the Meteor Golem, and the Gearsmith Guardians. A little bit more consistency too, maybe with the drawing effects. Not that we have a lot of them. It's pretty close. I would love to play like a tri or quad color deck, but I don't think we have the dual lands to fix it. So fix the overlay. What was it? Oh, when I maximize it, does it fuck things up for you guys? Let me just see what that looks like when I maximize. Ah, I see. Yeah, that's when I maximize paint. So yeah. What about blue-red? So white is our strongest color from what we drafted. Cutting white's a little bit sketchy. If we go blue-red, what are we gaining advantage-wise? We get the Pyromancer, who I like. We get the Dark Dweller Oracle, who I don't actually like very much at all, but okay. And we get one Electrify. Doesn't really seem worth it. Like, not playing the Angels seems a little crazy. Yeah, sealed decks tend to be a little bit weaker than draft. Yep, that's generally what happens out of them. We have missed the Clan Color plus Greenwood Sentinel interaction, chat. Okay. I think I kind of want those 1/1 dudes too. All right, I think let's work on the blue-white plan for now, and then see what we can, how we end up tweaking the deck. Okay. I think I want the Rustwings in with the amount of equipment we have available. I'm not sure I want Manolith in here either. Let's grab the other Marauder's Axis. What is this deck that we had down? Oh, this was the good stuff deck we were dicking with. No, I want my other deck. Let's just go back to my other deck real quick. All right, something like that. Yeah, I think we probably, I mean, that's why I put 2 axes in here, so we used to look at exactly that interaction here. Like, what are we trying to do here? I think the Rustwings getting in for damage is pretty damn good early, especially with a couple Marauders Axes to push through with that. I mean, our goal is to clearly kill them with flying chip damage. How many cards are we over right now? 50 right now. So we need to get rid of 10 cards. I could definitely see 1 Gearsmith Guardian. I'm kind of looking at 1 Angel. It's not like I don't like Angels, but we have a pretty heavy top end already. We'll see about that in a minute. Seems weird cutting Angels. The Priest is in consideration. It's a good it's a good ground creature that gives you a little bit of healing and stalls the board, which is kind of sometimes where you want to be. I don't think Sky Scanners fit this deck at all. I I hate main decking and Invoke, but I think with the amount of Luminous Bonds that are going to be running around, as well as Hieromancer's Cages, plus decent artifact creatures, I think it's probably good enough. Yeah, Nightly Valors. I mean, again, Nightly Valor is an enchant on a creature, though. It doesn't screw you entirely. I don't mind throwing this onto one of our Flyers, making them vigilant and big. Like, it's really nice on, for example, Courser to let you attack into things you couldn't otherwise. Rogue's Glove is questionable here. I'm not super excited about Mirror Image. We have some good targets for it, but it's kind of a win more in the sense that it's not like you can play this card first, right? You have to play another creature. The creature has to survive, then you do it. So it's kind of questionable. The Aven Wind Mages, I'm not excited about in this deck at all. Ajani's Pridemate basically only has one synergy, which is the Fountain of Renewal. It's a very powerful synergy if we get that to land, but it may or may not happen. It is also just a chump blocker, but a 2/2 in this format's not great. So we could arguably maybe cut that combo if we wanted to. Wall of Mists are never very exciting. They're okay. I think the Phantom is going to stay as a 2-mana 1/3 that we can put an Axe on to make it a 3/3. A bunch of Flyers seem good. Surge Mare's a little bit weak. All right, so these are kind of the core cards I want in the deck, I think. One with the Machine is maybe questionable too. We'll think about it. Be nice to draw 7 after Meteor Golem for sure. So I guess when I look at it this way, I don't think I want Sky Scanners. I mean, Sky Scanners are good with Marauder's Axes. It's another one of these things, another interaction that's really nice. You refill your hand, have a cheap disposable blocker. We have 2 Marauder's Axes, and if we wanted to, we could bring in a Rogue's Glove, which I don't think we're going to run right now because I don't think we have enough equipment slots for it, or another Marauder's Axe. I mean, this card is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I really want artifact synergies with that generally. I think we'll cut Fountain of Renewal, cut Pridemate, cut Surge Mare. We're at 45. We need 5 more out. There's 2, 4, 7 in here. Probably get rid of Wall of Mists. Go with Like Priest. We need 3 more out. Still not sure about Triple Angel plus Knight of Dawn, plus the Valor. No, I don't think I'm cutting the Falcons. I think they're pretty good in this deck. Good enough. I'd like to play with this card. I've never had a deck that I've actually been able to play with that in. Maybe Mirror Image. I mean, Mirror Image on a Sky Scanner is fine. It's basically another Sky Scanner then. On the Supreme Phantasm, it gives us 2/4 Flyers. It seems fine. On Angel, it gives us the ETB. On Scholar, it gives us the ETB. On Gearsmith, it becomes a creature. Maybe Gearsmith's not good enough. We only have the 1 blue creature before Horizon Scholar. I mean, if we're going to cut Aven Mages, we probably need to cut Gearsmiths. But then we need to cut 1 with Machine because that's their whole thing. I mean, 1 with Machine actually isn't terrible. 4 mana, draw 2 with having our Marauder's Axes in play isn't terrible either. Cut 1 Gearsmith. Yeah, I could get behind. I mean, it's a 3/5 body. It's 3/5 body's not bad. I could get behind that too. Question is, we're gonna have enough artifacts at this point. 2, 4, 5, 6, probably. Need 2 more cards out. I'm probably on 1 Windsmith. 1 Mage. Need 1 more card out. The cards that I'm deciding between are 1 Falcon, 1 Wind Mage, 1 Mirror Image. I think the rest of these are pretty good. Maybe you could argue for Gallant Cav. Our whole plan is to hit them in the air, but having chump blockers at 2 power is pretty relevant in this format. Maybe go down 1 Falcon. Try this. And there's an argument for cutting that Wind Mage. Or excuse me, the Mirror Image rather. Cav is better than Priest. About the same, I think. Cav's better in an aggressive deck, but we're not trying to be. I mean, I guess Cav has some synergies with Pegasus Courser for attacking too. You guys don't like Falcons? So there's a guy who only plays sealed. I think his handle is like Darkest Mage or something. He swears by Falcons, and I think this is probably one of your best times to have Falcons is when you have a pretty strong Air Force with a bunch of equipment. That's what you're looking for. I mean, Falcon's an aggressive card. You cut a Courser. There's not much for them to lift. That's a fair complaint, although it gets our Daylight Chaplain in. Can we cut a Courser? Jesus. Could try this. We should be looking at how often we prefer Rustwing Falcon to Wind Mage. How often we'd prefer Knightly Valor to another Guardian. And how often we prefer an Axe to a Gloves. I think are the real decisions here. What value does the Wind Mage have? It's 2/2 flyer for 3. It's the value the Wind Mage has. That often can be something we attach a Marauder's Axe to. I think I'm kind of leaning towards. I mean, it also activates the Gearsmith Guardian. I'm leaning a little towards throwing another Falcon in and cutting a Wind Mage. Gloves and Rusty is a good game. Well, we don't have gloves. I don't think gloves are as good as Marauder's Axe here. Maybe we cut the other Gearsmith Guardian. Consider cutting one with the machine. I think draw 3 for 4 is probably good enough. We have a single Sky Scanner out. So maybe we consider cutting Guardian. Put another Falcon in. Something like that. Maybe we could cut. Maybe we get a Johnny's Pride Nate in that combo. Guardian's the only good Courser target. I think Gallant Cav is fine for a Courser target. I think Dwarven Priest is whatever for it. Daylight Chaplain can be, Daybreak Chaplain can be something too. Why don't you cut one of the Angels? Because the Angels are really fucking good. Maybe we could not main deck Invoke and run our 3/5 instead. Although I feel like we'll regret that. We could run a Johnny's. So if we looked at this, what are we cutting to get a Johnny plus a Fountain in play? I like Fountain. I'm generally pretty happy with it anytime I play it. The worst case scenario is 4 to draw a card, which isn't amazing, or to cantrip, which isn't amazing, but it's okay. Like a Knightly Valor. So it'd be 2 of these 4. I think Invoke plus Knightly Valor beats Ajani's Pride Mate plus Fountain of Renewal for what we're trying to do with this deck. Maybe there's an argument that Meteor Golem's too slow. It's just we have so little removal. I could get behind a Priest out for a 3/5 artifact. I'm okay with that too. They're very similar in strength to me. Maybe we cut Meteor Golem. Get out a second Wind Mage for getting rid of Meteor Golem. It's a strong card, it's just super slow. Let's try this, see how it feels. All the Flyers, don't I want the gloves? Kind of, but I mean, something's got to come out for the gloves, right? Like, Rogue's gloves are okay if you're not trying to kill them quickly and you're looking for value. But our deck is kind of trying to kill them with early Flyers, like unblockable early Flyers. And I feel like probably Marauder's Axe is just better for us than gloves, with Falcons and Coursers and the rest of it. Alright, let's try this. I don't want quite as extreme as a mana switch as this. So we're going to throw in at least one more island here. 17 lands. Yeah, we definitely want 17 lands with this deck. I want probably 10 planes is about right. It's going to be annoying if we can't cast our blue creatures on curve. We got a fair number of colorless creatures as well. All right. And what is this deck going to use? Cards we'd rather be playing. Gloves. See how it treats us. Aggro Fliers. I'm kind of wondering about one Courser out for one more Wind Mage. We need 2 white mana. When do we need 2 white mana? Oh, I see. You're saying we never need 2 white mana, so do we need this? I want to be able to reliably cast Rustwings on 1, though. Let's look at the math here. So, let's find out. What's the answer to that question? It's a math question. How many lands do you need to consistently hit your land drops? All right. How about unlimited? Lands in deck. 17. Oh, this is not quite what I was looking at. Let me look at the other one. How many colored sources do we need? All right. So, 4 limited, 40 card deck. If I want to reliably cast 1 drop, 93% of the time I need 10 sources. If we go down to 9, it's 90%. All right, and then we want to cast blues on 3. We need 8 sources to do that 95% of the time. Otherwise, we go to 90% on 3 with 7. So ideally, we'd have 1 dual land between this, and this would be great. As it is, we give up a little turn 3 consistency with Aven Wind Mage to get a little bit more consistency with the Falcons. I think that's pretty good. How does it matter for 2 mana? We need 8 sources to cast. No, wrong one. 9 sources to cast that reliably. At 7, we're at 85% of the time we can cast that. Do I want to give up reliability on the Falcon for more reliability in the other 2? Probably. Just feels like Falcon on 3 tends to be, or Falcon on 2 tends to be pretty bad. Okay. Is this a program? No, it's just a list. It's a table. Can I show the math? No. I think it's that. Oh my god, what's the command? Gruntwork, what did you change the command to? Okay. We'll find the command and you can look at the articles and read them for yourself. Alright. Might be magic mana, that sounds, or MTG mana. Oh man, I know. Every time we change it, we forget the fucking command. MTG math? Is that what it is? Okay. Should be MTG mana. Oh well. MTG math. Good enough. I guess we could add a... Do we want another Courser versus another Wind Mage? I'm just fiddling at this point, really. The extra damage for racing is relevant, but we're never going to pump this. We have no instant speed. That means we get the 1 Invoke the Divine. I think I'm going to try this. All right, let's give it a try. Aggro Fliers. We wish we were wearing gloves. Yeah. Are our ground creatures that bad, though? Like, Daybreak Chaplain is a great card to be lifting, as is the Gallant Cav, because they're vigilant. As is the Gearsmith Guardian. It wins us a game. Like, our ground creatures are okay. You buy packs as a new player. What packs should you buy? You should buy packs for the decks you want to make. Fine. Alright, let's try that then. And if we do that, we already went the blue route. Alright. Alright, fine. Aggro Fliers.